Gur maithagad Sean, agus is an ór mór domsa bheith seo an tróna speisialta seo. I'm absolutely delighted to be here on this final evening, and I know you've had a long couple of days, 5 days. I've been following the deliberations and the discussions, very interesting, and I hope tonight will be as enthusiastic as well in our discussions and our debate and our questioning. Just a little bit of background about myself. Many people will know me from Special Olympics, but I was born and raised a rural girl in Mayo, in County Mayo, between a place called Swinford and Caltamaw. And I'm 5 in my family, 4 boys and 1 girl, so I was the youngest of that family, and although everybody says, oh, you must have been spoiled growing up, it was quite the reverse, because I came from a family that liked to look after their men, and I said, my goodness, if ever I have children, that is going to change. And I have blessed with 4 beautiful children, 2 boys and 2 girls, and the boys look after the girls in our house. Difficult on my mum as well, because my dad was in the Guards. He was a sergeant in the Guards. He was based in Sligo, and we continued to live in Mayo, so he used to come home every fortnight. So my mother had the job of not just looking after the small farm that we had, but looking after the 5 of us as well. And I suppose what she gave me certainly was a great sense of values, because before she got married, because of course she gave up work once she got married, she was a head girl in one of the larger shops, which seemed large at the time, you know, one of those shops in the country in Caltamaw where they sold everything, and the bar was at the back as well. I'm sure they're still in existence in many rural areas. And she was full of integrity and honesty and a real sense of values, so much so that she told me when she got her wages, they used to put 6pence back into the till in case they had taken a sweet out of the jar. So there you go. You can't get more honest than that. So I was Chief Executive of Special Olympics Ireland, and I was the fulcrum through which the World Special Olympic Games came here to Ireland, and I see many people in the audience who are volunteers at those games, and it's a great opportunity for me now to say thank you for that. I went on then to work in the legacy of Special Olympics, and then to work for Special Olympics Europe Eurasia across 58 countries. I am also very involved in the whole area of active citizenship and ensuring that as many people as possible participate both in in democracy, but also participate in volunteering across the country. I've worked on the North-South Consultative Conference with Trevor Ringland in bringing communities together, North and South. And I'm married to Julian, and as I said, 4 children, 2 boys and 2 girls. So that just gives you a little snapshot of a background. And before now my 10 minutes and Sean starts ringing the bell, I will get on with what we're to talk about tonight, the President of Ireland. And like any head of state, the President of Ireland has both a national and an international dimension to their work. The President, as someone who seeks to encapsulate and articulate the spirit of our nation, can and must play an equally important role in the national restoration in the years ahead. This is something that I do understand well, having worked with both community and voluntary organisations and inspiring people right across the island of Ireland for 30 years. However, in the comments this evening that I have, I wish to look in detail at a different but equally vital aspect of the role of the President. I want to focus on the transformative role that he or she can play for Ireland on the global stage. In 3 months' time, as Sean said, the next President of Ireland will be chosen. The person who fills that office, whoever he or she may be, will complete the lion's share of their term, 5 out of 7 years, within the time frame that is set out in this debate. This person will also be taking office at a time when Ireland continues to face great challenges, both economic and social. In short, this person will be head of a changed state. A state which until recently naively thought it was at the zenith of its powers, only for the rug to be yanked right from under its feet as the national and international economy soured and then crashed. A state which for the foreseeable future will have to manage the consequences of past decisions as best that it can. A state which must go through a period of warts and all self-assessment so that economic recovery is coupled with social renewal. And above all, a state which has to both learn from the catastrophic mistakes of our recent past while rebuilding our fractured economy and society anew. For me, this is the essence of transformation. It's fair to say that this is a mammoth task, and it will involve every single one of us. I also believe that the next president should play a significant role in this work and should hit the ground running with a strong programme of work to help in the process of transforming Ireland. For all of my working life, I have worked in the cause of transformational change. When I first began working with people with a disability, they were marginalised, they were institutionalised, and they were patronised. I have worked with many people to change that, and in this task I have been extremely fortunate to have made common cause with such a large number of people, both on a professional and voluntary basis, who have shared this common goal. Transformational change for people with a disability, like Ireland's hosting of the World Special Olympic Games in 2003, was something that did not happen overnight. It was built brick by brick, person by person, in the years and indeed the decades that preceded 2003. For Ireland, I believe it is no different. A process of transformational change is needed, but will take time, work, effort and commitment. It is worth bearing in mind that the next president, like all Irish heads of state, will operate within a defined constitutional mandate. The president's primary role will be to uphold the Constitution, and all work that he or she does will be done in close agreement and collaboration and cooperation with the government. However, I do believe that the next president should focus heavily on rebuilding Ireland's reputation on the international stage, and that the government should recognise the value that the president can bring to this specific task at this particular time. Globalisation has made our world small, and more than most countries, Ireland is affected by global developments and international opinion. We are huge exporters. We have a very large number of international companies working here, and we are now reliant on funding from international organisations to fund the workings of our state. All of this means that the way in which Ireland is perceived around the world should matter, and it should matter a great deal to us. Global opinion, however, has hardened in relation to Ireland. We have to tackle this, and if honoured with the role of President in the upcoming election, this is a task that I would devote considerable time and energy in the years ahead. With responsibility for Special Olympics now in 58 different countries across Europe and Asia, engagement with governments and international organisations is a very large part of the work that I do now. I have had intense dealings with international institutions like the European Commission and like the United Nations. And I've been to the forefront in working with China, which hosted the Special Olympics World Games in 2007, after Special Olympics Ireland had done it. Through those dealings, I have obtained things from these governments and institutions that At the start of our conversation, they didn't want to give me. Part of this was down to persuasion and positivity, but a significant aspect of any success that I have had is the effect of Ireland's soft power on the world stage. And for me, soft power is a skill of negotiation and communication and collaboration. We have an ability, perhaps it's due to our history and our culture, to appreciate where people are coming from, to empathise with those sitting across the table from us, and to encourage them to see things from our perspective. My concern in relation to how Ireland was being perceived internationally was heightened when I attended a major conference in Morocco in 2010 in which 171 countries were represented. In all of the conversations I had, searching and incredulous questions about Ireland were put before me. What's happening out there? Have we lost our way? How did we blow it? What did we do? This is a serious problem that needs to be addressed in a very serious way. As a country that has benefited from considerable foreign direct investment, and which should be actively seeking more of this investment right now as a means of generating new long-term job opportunities for our people, we cannot allow sloppy stereotypes about our country to go unchallenged in the world's boardrooms. So I believe that repairing and rebuilding Ireland's reputation on the world stage is a real need today, and this would therefore be a very core theme of my term in office if I were elected. First of all, I believe that the voice of the President as an advocate for Ireland, as a destination for inward investment, should be used. Ireland has a strong story to tell, and there are excellent reasons for investing here. But these reasons are in danger of being lost in the backwash of the negative and critical reporting that our country has been affected by in recent years. I would like to lead an enhanced number of international trade missions with countries that are growing, such as Brazil, Russia, India and China, and with whom we could do more business. Secondly, I would also like to take part in a structured programme of official engagements with countries that we already have strong links with, in bringing the message that Ireland is rebuilding and renewing itself with vigour, with courage and with commitment. And thirdly, I would like to promote the strategies, the strengths that Ireland has in becoming a leading centre of international education. I believe that with a coordinated and cooperative marketing and promotion programme, Ireland can attract more talented international students into this country. I know I'm being stopped here, so I am going to finish up now and say, yes indeed, I am going to finish up now and say that it was a pleasure to be here. Agus Tom Kinche go méid ag búlú le chéile go minse in Slímína atá róin. Gur míle maith agat.